Good morning, students. Today our topic is Josephson effect. So first of all, what is meant by Josephson junction? So this Josephson effect is also exhibited by superconductors. So first of all, what is meant by Josephson junction? So it is nothing but a non-superconducting material which is taken in the form of a thin layer. So a thin layer of non-superconducting material is sandwiched between two layers of superconducting material. That junction is known as Josephson junction. So in Josephson junction, a thin layer of superconducting material is sandwiched between two layers of superconducting materials. So this Josephson effect was given by Bryan-Josephson. So that's why this effect is known as Josephson effect, based on the phenomenon of tunneling of Cooper pairs from one superconducting material to another superconducting material. So this Josephson effect is based on tunneling of a pair of electrons, which are nothing but Cooper pairs, which tunnels from one superconducting material to another superconducting material. He also predicts the exact form of the current and voltage relations of this junction, of the Josephson junction. So for this work, he awarded by Nobel Prize in 1973. This Josephson effect is an example for quantum phenomena. It is purely quantum phenomena. Classically, it is forbidden, but quantum mechanically it is proved. So that's why this effect is purely based on quantum phenomena. So come to this diagram. So here an insulator is sandwiched between two superconducting material. This junction is called Josephson junction. So superconductor, first superconductor is symbolized as S1. Another superconductor is taken as S2. These two superconductors are joined by means of an insulator. This junction is known as Josephson junction, and it is connected to a voltmeter and ammeter. Okay, so see this diagram also. This is superconductor 1 and this is superconductor 2. In between two superconductors, there is an insulator which is nothing but air. Air acts as an insulator. Otherwise, you take any insulator in between these two also. Here we are considering air as an insulator. And these two are connected to battery and then ammeter and a voltmeter. So initially, without the application of voltage, then that means when the voltage is 0, then also the current is read by ammeter. That means in the circuit the current flows without the application of voltage also. That means when V equals to 0, but also the current flows in the ammeter. So generally from one superconductor to another superconductor, there is no direct contact between these two, and also external voltage is equals to 0. But here from one superconductor to another superconductor, the current flows and the ammeter shows some reading. So classically it is not happening, because when we are treated the electrons as particles, so which are present in this superconductor. So in the superconductor the electrons are present. In this superconductor also the electrons are present. When there is a gap between these two superconductors, that means when there is an insulator between these two superconductors, as long as we treat these electrons as particles, the electrons cannot move from this superconductor to this superconductor because of the insulator. So then ammeter always shows 0 reading, but practically ammeter shows some reading. That means current is passing from one superconductor to another superconductor. So that means our assumption is wrong. That is, behavior of electrons is not a particle nature. Here the electrons are shows wave nature. So that means when these electrons possess wave nature, the wave has the probability to penetrate in the insulating layer also. So that's why the current flows from one superconductor to another superconductor by the phenomenon of penetration of electrons from one superconductor to another. The penetrating nature of electrons from one superconductor to another superconductor is known as tunneling. So the tunneling phenomenon is purely quantum phenomena. So that's why here the ammeter shows some current, means electrons are tunneling from one superconductor to another superconductor through insulator. So that when the tunneling takes place means when the electron possesses wave nature. Okay, finally, so classically whenever we treated electrons as particles, they can't move from one superconductor to another superconductor via insulator. But when we are treating these electrons are just like waves, the waves can penetrate from one superconductor to another superconductor through insulator also. So the penetrating of electrons from one superconductor to another superconductor via insulating is known as tunneling. Tunneling of Cooper pairs from S1 to S2, then the current flows. That's why ammeter show reading with 0 voltage also. Here the voltage is always 0, but the current flows from one superconductor to another superconductor by means of tunneling. So this effect is called Josephson effect. One more important one is, between these two junctions, the thickness of the insulator must be in 10 angstrom units to 20 angstrom units only. If the thickness is increased up to 1 centimeter, then there is no current flows in the ammeter. So only when the thickness of the insulator is very thin, that means it is in the range of 10 to 20 angstrom units, then only the current flows from one superconductor to another superconductor. If the thickness is increased up to the range of 1 centimeter, then no current flows in the ammeter. So this is known as the Josephson effect. So come to what is meant by quantum mechanical tunneling. Already I told the Josephson current flows from one superconductor to another superconductor by the phenomenon of quantum mechanical tunneling. So what is meant by quantum tunneling means, if the insulating layer is very thin, that is in the range of 10 to 20 angstrom units, then there is a large probability of for electrons pass from one superconductor to another through this insulating layer by quantum mechanical process. That process is called tunneling process. So come to this diagram. This is superconductor 1 and this is superconductor 2. So these are the pair of electrons present in the superconductor. These pair of electrons are called Cooper pair. So these Cooper pairs behaves like a wave and they are tunnels through the insulator and then comes to the second superconductor. In the same way, the Cooper pairs which are present in this superconductor also tunnels and comes to the superconductor 1. In this way, the current flows from one superconductor to another superconductor via insulating layer also. So here the Cooper pairs are tunneling from one superconductor to another superconductor. So in this way the current flows. So these tunneling of Cooper pairs is purely based on quantum mechanics, and these Cooper pairs shows wave nature. So that's why the wave has the probability to tunnels from one superconductor to another superconductor. If you treat these electrons as particles, when these electrons comes towards the insulating layer, they reflect back. They never goes to other side of the superconductor when these treated as particles. But here we are treating this Cooper pairs shows wave nature, so that's why the waves can a probability to penetrate or pass from one superconductor to another superconductor. So in this way the current is flowing. That process is known as quantum mechanical tunneling. This effect is of two types. Josephson effect is of two types. One is DC Josephson effect and another one is AC Josephson effect. In DC Josephson effect, direct current passes. In AC Josephson effect, alternate current is produced. Come to DC Josephson effect. So in the DC Josephson effect, these two superconductors are sandwiched by means of an insulator. So these Cooper pairs tunnels from one superconductor to another superconductor and the current is produced. Here these two superconductors, without connecting to the voltage, that means without any applied voltage, here we are not connecting to any external circuit, so that means we are not applying any external voltage. So that means the voltage is, external voltage is also 0. When without any applied voltage across the junction also, the tunneling of Cooper pairs takes place and a small direct current flows across the junction. So that small direct current is also known as supercurrent. So the supercurrent flows across the junction without any applied voltage also. So that current is called DC current. So in that time voltage is 0, but there is a current is possible. So generally it is not possible, but in case of superconductors, so when here current I flows but the voltage is 0. This effect is called DC Josephson effect. So the DC current which is produced by the Cooper pairs, that maximum value is taken as I0. So this value varies from I0 to minus I0. Here I0 is nothing but maximum current. Come to this diagram. Here these are the Cooper pairs. We see the Cooper pairs present in superconductor 1. So these are the Cooper pairs present in the superconductor 2. So these Cooper pairs tunnels from one superconductor to another superconductor and supercurrent is flows from one to another. Here the wave is tunneling from the insulator. So when the wave is tunnels, its phase changes from initial to this outgoing wave. The phase is changes, but here these superconductors means a constant phase. So from the incident wave to coming wave there is a phase change, but the output wave has constant phase. That phase is known as phi. So the current across the junction, the maximum current across the junction can be represented using a formula I equals to I0 sin phi. That means the current produced in the DC Josephson effect is purely depends on the phase change between the waves. The phase change between the waves. So I equals to I0 sin phi, where phi is phase difference between the waves associated with the Cooper pairs of electrons on two sides of the gap. So here phi is the phase difference between the two waves on the two sides of the gap. Here I equals to I0 sin phi. So here is a note. If the current exceeds the maximum current I0, then a potential difference exists across the junction. So only up to a critical value a constant current is flows. That current is called maximum current or critical current. When the current exceeds this I0 value, then a voltage is develops. Up to the I0, the voltage equals to 0. So this effect is called DC Josephson effect. So in the DC Josephson effect, there is no voltage is applied to the superconductors. So without applying the external voltage, tunneling of Cooper pairs takes place and the supercurrent flows from one superconductor to another superconductor. So this effect is called DC Josephson effect. The current produced by the DC Josephson effect I equals to I0 sin phi Here I naught is the maximum current which varies between I naught to minus I naught, and phi is the phase difference between the two copper wires along the both sides of the insulator. So the current purely depends upon phase of the copper pairs. So I equals to I naught sin phi. So this is about DC Josephson effect. Come to AC Josephson effect. So here in AC Josephson effect, we are connecting these two superconducting junction to a external voltage. That external voltage applied is V0. So this is the V0 potential we are applying to connecting a battery. So when the static potential V0 is applied across the junction, then the Cooper pair start to oscillate. Okay, clear? The Cooper pair begins to oscillating through the insulating layer. So the Cooper pair begins to oscillating through the insulating layer. As a result, because of the oscillation of Cooper pairs, alternating current is produced. That means AC current flows. This effect is known as AC Josephson effect. So here we are applying external voltage. In case of DC, there is no voltage applying. So in both process, current is flowing from one superconductor to another superconductor. In DC, a direct current flows from one superconductor to another superconductor. But when we are applying the external voltage, an oscillating current is produced. That oscillating current is nothing but alternating current. So this will happen because of the external voltage. And there is a phase difference between the two waves which are coming from Cooper pairs from S1 and S2. The phase difference is nothing but delta phi. So delta phi equals to Et by H cut. So generally E equals to H nu. So generally E equals to H nu. Nu can be written as phi by T. So that's why delta phi equals to Et by H cut. So you remember this formula. The phase difference because of the voltage applied is always equals to Et by H cut. This is pronounced as H cut. H cut is nothing but H by 2 pi. So this is introduced for the Cooper pairs, where E is the total energy of Cooper pairs at any time T, and E equals to 2 into EV0. So here energy E equals to 2 into EV0. So generally when we are applying the voltage V0, then the energy due to this electric field acts on the electrons is always equals to EV0. So E equals to EV0 is the formula, but here we are taking a pair of electrons, so that's why the energy equals to 2 EV0. Substituting this one into delta phi, so delta phi equals to 2 EV0 T by H cut. So this is the phase difference between the Cooper pairs when we are applying the voltage V0. So with the phase difference, the alternating current flows. So the total current tunneling due to the Cooper pairs I equals to I0 sin phi. Additional phase difference is delta phi. So the Cooper pair suffers an additional phase difference, that is delta phi, because of the external voltage. So I equals to I0 sin phi naught delta phi. We know that delta phi is nothing but 2 EV0 T by H cut. Substitute this one also. So this is in the form of I0 sin phi plus omega t. So this is nothing but general simple harmonic equation. So here we are considering or comparing this equation with this equation. So in this omega place we have 2 EV by H cut. So here the omega is called angular frequency. So this is the general form of simple harmonic equation. Here the omega is called frequency. When we are comparing this equation with this equation, we get the angular frequency equals to 2 EV0 by H cut. That means the Cooper pairs are oscillating with a frequency of 2 EV0 by H cut. Here V0 is the applied voltage, H cut is nothing but Planck's constant. So when we are substituting all these values, we get the omega in the range of gigahertz. So the frequency is in the range of gigahertz. That means it is in microwave frequency. So in AC Josephson effect, the frequency lies in the microwave region. So this is about AC Josephson effect. So come to current voltage characteristics. So this is the diagram for current voltage characteristics of Josephson effect. So come to this diagram. So when the voltage is 0, that means in DC Josephson effect, so without connecting to any external potential, the voltage is 0, but there is a maximum current flows in the superconductor because of tunneling of Cooper pairs, that is I0. So even in the V is equal 0, there is a current, maximum current, that is I0. Up to the voltage Vc, the current is flowing constantly. But when applied voltage is greater than Vc, then oscillating of Cooper pairs takes place and AC voltage is flows. So this is the AC voltage, that is in AC Josephson effect current. This is the DC Josephson current. Okay, clear? So come to again. So when V0 is 0, then means external applied voltage is 0. That means it is DC Josephson effect. The current flows of DC current I0 through the junction. So when V equals to 0, there is a maximum current, that is I0. This current is called superconducting current, and this effect is known as the DC Josephson effect. So when V0 is less than Vc, a constant DC current flows. But when V0 is greater than Vc, when V0 is greater than Vc, AC current flows. So these are the current voltage characteristics of Josephson effect. Next, go to applications of Josephson effect. So Josephson effect is used to generate microwaves with a frequency omega equals to 2eV0 by hk. Already I told that. So the frequency lies in the microwave region. So by changing this voltage, we can change the frequency of microwave waves also. Thus Josephson effect is used to define standard volt. So this Josephson effect is also used to define the standard volt. That means here the voltage is purely related to the frequency. So that's why while changing the frequency only, the voltage changes. Using this relation, we can define a standard volt. And this effect is also used mainly in squids. Squids means these are the instruments which are used to detect the magnetic field produced in the brain. Squids means superconducting quantum interface devices. Superconducting quantum interface devices. So these squids works purely based on Josephson effect. So these squids are used to detect the magnetic field produced by brain in a human being. In our head there is a brain. So the brain also produces some magnetic fields. Those fields are determined using squids. The AC Josephson effect is used to measure very low temperatures based on the variation of frequency of emitted radiation with temperature. So these are the applications of Josephson effect. Okay, clear? Thank you.